Good evening, everybody. Tonight, I am going to present a webinar on why you need a health coach. So that's really the true question. Why do you need a health coach? I mean, we have books, we have the internet now. You can Google any topic and pretty much get the answer, if not a million answers. And then we have so many people on the internet this day and age that are considered wellness experts. So why would you need to hire a health coach? We're going to touch on that this evening. And I think probably why is that we do need people kind of holding us accountable to our goals, because many of us will fall off track without that person that we know we have to show up to the next week, that we said that we were going to do something, and now they're going to ask us, did we do it, right? That's the big reason. But let's dive into the webinar and discuss why you need a health coach. So I'm going to share the screen. Okay. So if you don't know who I am Amy Blackburn Dreyer. I am Amy Blackburn Whole Health Coaching. That's my website, amyblackburn.net. I am an IIN, the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. I'm a certified health coach, and a certified hormonal health specialist through IIN. And more recently, and I'm more excitedly to announce that I just got my Gut Thrive in 5 wellness practitioner certification through the whole journey. That program is amazing. It really transformed my health, as well as some case studies that I just took through the program. But that's a whole nother topic conversation that I'll do a webinar on down the road. But tonight we're going to discuss why you personally would benefit from having a health coach. So here we go. The current healthcare landscape. Some questions to think about. Think about your last doctor visit. How much time did your doctor spend with you? Did you discuss health habits or nutrition or your lifestyle and activity levels? Some things to really think about. Did your doctor spend time asking you about your nutrition, your activity level, your lifestyle factors, and just about you, right? Just taking time to hear you out. Generally, the answer is no. Most doctors only have a few minutes to spend with each client. They don't have time. They're filling their day with like patient after patient after patient. Not that they don't want to spend more time with patients, they simply don't have enough time. Today's doctors are trained to focus on sickness. So they're focused on what is your sickness and what can we do to resolve that and resolve the symptoms. Most conventional doctors aren't trained in the skill set of how to develop a long-term plan to keep you healthy and motivated while holding you accountable. So again, we go back to they're focusing more on your symptoms. Okay, so what symptoms did you present to them, and what can they give you, right, to alleviate the symptoms? But at the end of the day, are you getting down to the root cause of the issue going on? Today's doctors have less time for personal interaction and are required to have more in-depth knowledge in a narrowly defined niche. Additionally, the landscape of healthcare has changed. Chronic disease far outweighs acute illness. So we're seeing way more people with chronic illness versus acute. Acute is what comes on suddenly and can be resolved suddenly, like quickly. Chronic is what's been lingering over time, and it gets worse and it gets worse. And sometimes you don't even know it until it's like to the point of being pretty bad, right? According to the CDC, as a nation, we spend 86% of our healthcare dollars on the treatment of chronic diseases. 86% of our healthcare dollars. That is a high percentage, everyone. This These persistent conditions, the nation's leading causes of death and disability, leave in their wake deaths that could have been prevented. Lifelong disability, compromised quality of life, and burgeoning healthcare costs. So the big focus of so many political elections over the past at least 8 years have revolved around healthcare, right? But at the end of the day, we aren't focusing on preventative healthcare costs as much as we're focusing on sick care costs. If we put more investment, I feel, into preventative healthcare, perhaps we can lower the costs of insurance down the road. It's really a big issue. It's one of the main issues for myself when I'm looking at, like elections and stuff like that. Healthcare costs for me, it's just getting out of control. You really have a hard time even being able to afford adequate and proper healthcare this day and age. Cost of living has gone up. The wage increase has not gone up, but healthcare and cost of living have both gone up. And it's getting really, really hard to be able to even afford quality healthcare. This is where health coaches can help. Many chronic diseases are preventable through diet and lifestyle changes. So they are preventable. You just need some diet and lifestyle changes. Health coaches have the time to support clients on an individual basis. So unlike the doctors, we do take time to sit down and hear about, okay, so tell me what's going on. What have you been experiencing? The array of symptoms, and we have time to sit down and do that with you. So what exactly does a health coach do? The primary goal of the health coach is to help clients achieve their health goals. In other words, a health coach provides personalized care. So pretty much you're customizing everybody's plan. So you might have a general plan of action. So for instance, with the Gut Thrive in 5 program, there's a general protocol that is, for the most part, it works for a vast array of people. However, you still have to customize that for each individual. Certain foods may not work for one person, but may work for another person. So that's where health coaches come in, which is different than just looking up on the internet, gut health. Follow these 5 steps. Sometimes those 5 steps aren't helping you or resolving your issue at hand. And you need somebody to say, okay, maybe we need to switch this out and try this instead. Maybe you're eating too much of this, or this product is not good for this point in time in the protocol. It's better to use it later in the protocol. But what you see on the internet and in books typically is a generalized plan of action. But health coaches can make a more specific plan of action for you, your body, and your needs. Health coaches not only help clients work through lifestyle and behavior modifications, but they also mentor, inspire, guide, and motivate to cultivate positive health choices. So that all of that is absolutely true. We're not just sitting here and reading off a to-do list. Again, we're listening to you more, and we're allowing you to figure out the solutions to your body, your life. And then we just provide you with a couple little tools along the way. But ultimately, we're spending more time listening to you and allowing you to talk through your issues and to figure out the solutions to your issues simply by talking with us. When it comes to healthy eating, we understand you already know what is healthy and what isn't. However, there are a lot more factors to consider, which is where a health coach comes in handy. So again, many of us know the rights, the wrongs, do this, do that, don't eat this, don't eat that. But what happens is we don't always have what I would consider the self-discipline. And what is self-discipline? I think it's according to the dictionary, but it's doing the right thing and making the right choices, basically, when you don't feel like it. And that's where I think most of us struggle. And even health coaches, even what appear to be the most disciplined people, sometimes that you know of, we all have something that we struggle with, as far as when our self-discipline slides and we keep giving in to something that we just know isn't good for us, but we crave it, we want it. And so at the end of the day, I think even for myself, when I've gone into programs run by other health coaches, yes, I do programs by other health coaches. I know I follow it to a T way more, and I'm way more, I can't think of the word, compliant. And I leave out foods that are not supposed to be on the plan that I typically like love. But I'm just more compliant because I know I'm doing a program and I have a health coach checking in on me. So that's where a health coach is really valuable. Health coaches have the luxury of time that medical doctors don't have to dive deeper into the hows and whys of preventative care. Many doctor offices are even starting to add health coaches to their staff, which is a huge win for patients. It took a while to get to this point, to be quite honest. It took a while for the medical world to accept health coaches as having qualifications, right? That we weren't quacks and that we weren't out there spitting out information that we really didn't know about, and that we did these courses in such a short time frame that we're just out there without the education and the tools. That was probably back when I did the program, my first program in 2013. Definitely, I don't think doctors were totally on board with the idea of a health coach. But now they're seeing where we fit into the equation, right? It's teamwork. It's a village. It's a village to create health and wellness. And we're filling in the gaps between their expertise. We're kind of in between, like a counselor and a doctor. We're filling in that middle ground in terms of, like, we're counseling people and serving as their cheerleader and providing them the emotional support, the encouragement, the inspiration. But we're also taking some of that, we're in the middle, meaning that we have a general knowledge, and I don't want to use the word general because now we're getting more specific, but we have this area of expertise often, but we're relying on the doctors in other ways. So we're kind of working with doctors and taking the diagnosis and the prescriptions and all that stuff that doctors are doing, and we're then trying to help our clients, their patients, make lifestyle modifications to allow them to achieve health and to ultimately, if possible, take away the disease that's going on, through proper eating and lifestyle habits, stress management, exercise, all those kind of things. So we're kind of the middleman between the doctor and even what I call a counselor. Health coaches provide guidance and management in the major components of health, including diet, physical activity, and overall wellness. In short, health coaching is a collaborative effort between the client and the coach, and that is key. It is a collaborative effort. In terms of gut health program, I'm very clear with, if you are not ready to really do the work that it takes to heal leaky gut, then I'm not going to be the right person for you in the moment, because you have to be ready, because you pretty much have to say, yes, I'm going to be compliant in order to see the results, right? In order to achieve the results that you're looking for, whether that's weight loss, whether that's reducing your blood pressure, lowering blood pressure, whether it's taking away type 2 diabetes, and improving your AC1 numbers, whether it's taking down your internal inflammation. I'm trying to think of, like, the phrase, your internal set point is your, leaving me my memory. But anyways, your set point, internal inflammation, whatever the case may be, health coaches come in and teach you lifestyle modifications that will allow this. Now, we are not talking about type 1 diabetics, for instance, or like certain illnesses that are genetically. We're talking about chronic lifestyle habits, right? Chronic lifestyle diseases based on your lifestyle. We're not necessarily talking about, like I said, type 1 diabetes, for example. That's a whole nother issue. But it's diseases brought on by poor choices in life. So, specific examples of a health coach's role may include assisting a client's current health condition, developing health goals for a client, providing counseling services. So like I said, we're kind of the middleman. Documenting a client's progress, conducting behavioral health screenings, establishing a client's plan of action. Okay, so let's have a health coaching overview. Health coaching utilizes evidence-based clinical interventions, which incorporates a three-pronged approach. The best available research evidence bearing on whether a treatment works and why. So again, this is health coaches use evidence-based research. Expertise to identify a client's individual health state and risks. Clients' preferences and values. So let's go over that one more time. Health coaching utilizes evidence-based clinical interventions, which incorporates a three-pronged approach. The best available research evidence bearing on whether a treatment works and why. Expertise to identify a client's individual health state and risks, and clients' preferences and values. Methods of health coaching involve motivational interviewing to facilitate behavior change, the trans-theoretical model of change, goal setting, and active listening. So some of that lingo, right, can be like, okay, what the heck is she talking about? Motivational interviewing. Basically, health coaches sit down, they listen to you talk, and they feedback, they repeat often what you're telling them. And then through them repeating what you're saying, you're hearing yourself and your words. And then you yourself are starting to kind of become aware of your habits, your thought patterns, and anything that could be causing you to make poor choices in life. And then you're pretty much in control of your health, right? And we just kind of sit down and we go through what you said, what you realize, and we make a plan of action. How can we now resolve some of that together? Each of these is in more detail can be described as motivational interviewing is a client-centered counseling approach for eliciting behavior change by helping clients to identify strengths and weaknesses for meaningful change. Behavior change refers to efforts to address and change personal habits to prevent disease and achieve wellness. The trans-theoretical model is a means of assessing an individual's readiness to act on a new behavior to provide adequate strategies of change to guide the individual. So the readiness part is really the first part you want to dive into. When it becomes like talking with somebody, how ready they are to make changes is going to determine how well a program or plan of action is truly going to work for that individual. If you're not truly ready, you're likely not going to be as compliant and commit to it. And then you're going to be left saying the program didn't work. When the reality is it's not always the program didn't work, rather than you didn't do the work. So you have to truly be at a point where you're like, I'm sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. I'm done with this. I'm tired of feeling overweight. I'm tired of struggling to go up the stairs. I can't keep up with my kids. I feel exhausted. I feel weak. I can't get through the day. without wanting to take a nap, and I just don't feel right, right? I just don't feel right. Currently, I'm starting to focus more on women in business who are dealing with autoimmune issues coming from stress and the go-go lifestyle, and they're left without answers, and they're feeling lost and confused, but ultimately their health has declined, and they're just like, I just can't feel this way any longer. And when you get to that point, you're more likely to be compliant. But if you have your workforce, your workplace offering you these corporate wellness packages and providing you points, but on the inside, you're like, I really don't feel like doing this, but I really could use that extra amount of cash in my bank for coming to this one-on-one session, you're probably not going to get the results because you're just there in body to fulfill something that looks good to your boss, right? So you really have to be ready to change once and for all. Goal setting is a personal development tool used by health coaches to create an action plan designed to motivate and guide individuals toward a specific goal. So for instance, I keep going back to Gut Thrive and 5. You are looking to improve leaky gut so that you can improve X, Y, and Z, right? So now here's a plan, and now we're going to go through the plan together, and we're going to adjust the plan accordingly based on your reactions. Active listening is a communication technique used during sessions where a health coach fully concentrates on what an individual is communicating to establish an appropriate plan of action. Okay, so credentials, that's where, like I said, back in 2013, health coaches were probably viewed as quacks. And, oh, who are they? Who do they think they are, giving out this kind of advice on healthier eating and lifestyle habits? But let's go into this now. Credentials. Many health coaches earn specialized certifications, and there are many different organizations available to choose from for their education. Requirements for various certification agencies differ, with some requiring licensed health professionals or bachelor's degrees, while some support individuals coming into this field without any medical background. Certification is not always required. However, it does increase credibility. A strong background in fitness or healthcare, however, is a must. Requirements may also vary by state. Check with your local regulatory board for more information. There's such things as like red states and whatnot. The client coach process. So what is it all about? Many coaches follow a health coaching model. The first step involves establishing a relationship. Just like anything, you have to establish a relationship and a rapport to make sure that you feel comfortable with each other. So and that can go both ways. Like a client needs to make sure that the health coach that they trust, that they genuinely like, because they're going to become kind of vulnerable to a certain degree through the process. When you're going through a health journey, you're uncovering things that you may have at times hidden from other people when it comes to your relationship with food, anxiety issues. You just never know. Certain things that you've kept, you now are going to have to kind of uncover, because the health coach is going to have a pretty good general big view of what your life is and what your state of health is. And that can be uncomfortable for some people. So a client really needs to make sure that they feel comfortable opening up to the health coach, but the health coach also needs to make sure that they feel comfortable with a particular client, because if something's off, it just probably isn't going to work out. And then one or the other isn't going to feel successful. Building trust through rapport is essential for a successful client-coach relationship. The second step is motivational interviewing for building strong communication strategies. This step helps clients become aware of personal problems and limitations. So again, that's where the client is speaking and talking based on a few questions that a health coach may open up for conversation. And then the health coach mirrors those answers back to you. And then that kind of makes you go like, oh, okay, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm doing. That's my limiting belief of myself. That's why I'm not moving forward. And it just, again, it brings a little bit more awareness to what's truly going on and what's holding you back. The goal is to focus on the present and explore the individual's core values and goals. It's most important for clients to express a desire for change rather than being told change is necessary, as I just touched on. The third step is creating a wellness vision, which can include physical, emotional, social, spiritual, and financial realms of their life. A wellness vision is used to help clients reach optimal well-being by connecting them to their own truth and wisdom that is held within. So I don't know about you, but I read personal development books each morning, and I tell you that creates this vision in my head of where I want my life to be one day. And it excites me. Whenever I'm in that, I guess I probably spend about 30 minutes reading and journaling. And when I'm in that 30 minutes, I feel like I can do anything. And I get excited. And my vision is right there about this is the life that I want. And you almost can taste it and you can feel it. And that's what keeps you going in moments when you're like, oh, this is hard, I want to give up. That vision. And a health coach will help you create that vision. Lastly is setting goals. The coach will help the client by acting as a guide through the goal setting process. This is a collaborative step between client and coach. Setting appropriate goals is crucial when helping clients achieve wellness and success. So you have to make a goal that you can actually achieve. And the key is to create very small baby steps, just bite-sized chunks, right? So that then you accomplish and you conquer that, and you go, oh, wow, I did that. What's next? And then again, you get that momentum going because you've achieved. And when you've achieved more and more success, the momentum keeps going until it's just part of who you are and it's just part of your lifestyle. And then you don't need a health coach. The role of a health coach. It's important to keep in mind a health coach may not be a licensed dietitian. Many states require a separate license for prescribing specific diet plans. However, a health coach can help you understand the fundamentals of nutrition. Nor are health coaches medical advisors who treat medical conditions or diseases. The following describes the role of a health coach to facilitate a client's wellness plan. A health coach offers support for client self-management. This can include providing educational resources and helping problem solve. A health coach can help clients become well-versed in the healthcare system and medical resources. A health coach is excellent for providing emotional support. A health coach can be useful for building relationship with medical providers by helping clients keep health histories to provide their medical doctors. A health coach will provide support throughout health and wellness efforts made by the client. So in other words, we cannot diagnose, prescribe, or even like make meal plans necessarily. Excuse me. We can do suggested meal plans. We can give you eating and lifestyle habit suggestions. Now, with that being said, like gut health and hormonal health and those kind of things, again, we're providing supplement suggestions. So a lot of it is we're providing you with the habits to prevent health issues or to suppress certain issues or to reverse certain issues, but we're not diagnosing. That's where we work with doctors. We're not diagnosing you. We can't give you a prescription medication, obviously, the prescriptions from us are food, right? And food-based products. Importance of health coaching. Health coaches are increasing in demand to help fill the gaps in traditional medicine. The future of healthcare is reshaping with the focus moving from treatment to prevention. Yes, it truly is finally moving in that direction. So going from treatment to prevention. While conventional medicine specializes in acute illnesses, chronic disease is now noted as being an epidemic today. Obesity, we're seeing it in children all the way up through adults, heart disease, high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes. Because acute and chronic diseases act differently in the body, traditional medicine simply cannot and does not have the necessary approaches in place. So I'm going to repeat that. Because acute and chronic diseases act differently in the body. Acute, you pretty much know right away. Chronic, it can be so subtle that you have no idea what's lingering underneath it all until it's just really bad. And that's the difference. Fortunately, health coaches can help. The holistic care they provide is truly the future, treating the whole person, not just symptoms. Hence the reason why I said the name of my business is Amy Blackburn Whole Health Coaching. Here are a few approaches utilized by health coaches that conventional care simply doesn't have the foundation for. Focus on holistic care, making a personal connection, SMART goals, retraining the brain, and self-reliance. And then lifestyle habits. Ultimately, lifestyle habits as well. Lifestyle habits and mindset are huge parts of health coaching. Okay, so a committed focus on holistic care. Health coaches have the unique ability to focus on a holistic approach. Okay, so you're probably like, okay, what? I think I have an idea of holistic health, but really, what is it? Holistic health is defined as an integrated approach to healthcare that treats the whole person, not simply symptoms and disease. The concept is based on the idea that the human being is multidimensional. Therefore, health and wellness approaches need to consider the physical, emotional, social, and spiritual needs of the person to achieve optimal health. Health coaches do just that. So, for instance, when you first start working with me, we have what's called the physical symptom wheel. And with that wheel, or the whole health wheel, there are categories where you kind of draw dots to see where you fit, where does this fit into your life in the moment. And those are things such as like career, relationships, social life, eating, right? Your diet, your life, your exercise, financial. So it's this whole picture of you and your life, because again, your state of health is dependent on all these factors and how they have an impact on, basically your impact on you internally. Health coaches work one-on-one with clients to focus on the emotional, physical, behavioral, nutritional, and lifestyle factors that are needed to enhance overall health and well-being. So again, we focus on your emotional, physical, behavioral, nutritional, and lifestyle factors. Making a personal connection. Another aspect often lacking in traditional healthcare settings is an established bond between the patient and the doctor. Instead, health coaches can work hard to provide genuine and meaningful interactions by building respect and trust with their clients. So for instance, my clients that I just took through the Gut Thrive in 5 program, we would meet weekly. And that program took 3 to 4 months for each client. And we were meeting every single weekend for 3 to 4 months. So through that course, we really got to know each other and build, like here, the genuine trust and rapport. So that finally, when the program was over, it was kind of sad because like, oh, I've gotten so used to meeting with you and sharing and being a part of your life. But at the same time, very proud to say you're good. You're on your own now. You have the tools to do what you need to do in the future. And you're going to be great. You're going to do great. But that's where it's kind of like, again, it's a very collaborative process. By understanding lifestyle factors, for example, someone being too busy to cook a healthy meal every day, a health coach can provide alternatives and tips for healthy eating while taking into account a client's busy lifestyle. The goal is a positive change. Of course, this cannot happen without understanding what the client is and is not capable of. So that was really easy because again, I don't sit in my kitchen and cook these gourmet meals and stuff. I've learned to make healthy eating as convenient and stress-free as anybody can. And so that is, in the way that I have recipes to provide clients if they love to cook and do everything from scratch and whatnot. But I also have tips and suggestions for clients who are like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. So it is possible. Okay, so SMART goals. By understanding the fitness style, personal interests, past successes and failures, health and fitness attitudes and beliefs, a health coach can work to establish attainable goals. That was a lot, right? But we look at your personal interests, your past success rate, and your failures, your health and fitness attitudes and beliefs, so that we can come together and develop attainable goals. Goals will be assessed as an ongoing process for both short and long-term objectives. A health coach will help you take vague ideas and aspirations and transform them into reality by setting SMART goals with you. Setting SMART goals provides structure and trackability to help clients be successful. So they provide structure and you can track them. They provide clear milestones and an estimation of the attainability of each goal. SMART stands for, so when you're hearing SMART, right? You're probably like, okay, but what the heck does that stand for? Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. The time bound is really important. Your health coach will work with you to answer the following types of questions for setting your SMART objectives. What exactly do I want to achieve? Okay, so I keep using the Gut Thrive as an example. That's my signature program. So what exactly do I want to achieve? Okay, digestive health. I want to achieve better digestion, right? For some people, they go through the Gut Thrive, it could be they have infertility issues. So I want to achieve, having a baby. Others, it could be, what else? Some may have lupus markers, and I want my lupus markers to go down. So I could go through this. I want to no longer be coined, in the category of type 2 diabetes. So what exactly do I want to achieve? And that's what you have to kind of pinpoint. Where and how. When do I want to achieve this? With whom? What are the conditions and limitations? Why exactly do I want to reach this goal? What are the possible alternative ways of achieving the same? Okay, so SMART goals, you want to go through those, and let's just kind of touch on this again. What exactly do I want to achieve? Where, how, when, with whom, what are the conditions and limitations, why exactly do I want to reach this goal? That's the big one. Why? What are the possible alternative ways of achieving the same? Okay. Retraining the brain. Health coaches offer support in various ways. One specific technique is to help clients identify negative thinking patterns about themselves and their health to change how they look and feel. That is a big one, you guys. This is something that I work first and foremost in my Revitalize 28-day program, which I like to do that sometimes after the Gut Thrive, is because we focus on mindset big time, because you have to start kind of getting to terms with like, you want to be happier, you want to be healthier, and you know you're lacking with self-confidence perhaps, and you have a lot of negative self-thinking patterns, and we work together on kind of overcoming some of that. By identifying negative, irrational, and erroneous beliefs, health coaches help clients establish positive internal dialogue, or otherwise known as self-talk. Retraining your brain to think more positively takes work, but it is very effective. By shifting your focus on the positives rather than the negatives, your health outcomes change as well. For example, instead of saying, I hate to exercise, remind yourself, I feel great following a workout. My current phrase sometimes are, some is better than none. And I've learned, it took me a long time because I've always been like that. I said I was going to do this. I'm going all out type exerciser. And more recently now I'm focusing on more on it's to nourish and make my body healthier and better. But on days when my body's not, it's being pushed too hard, too far, then I know how to stop now because I love myself too much, right? And that's not every day, don't get me wrong, but I'm learning to be okay with not being perfect, right? And learning that taking care of your body and allowing it rest and recovery and stuff like that is truly going to transform my health internally as well. Because at one point, I'm type A over exerciser at one point, and my cholesterol was sky high. Genetic family, it's familial cholesterol. It's a genetic family history of cholesterol. However, I also think some of my lifestyle factors were so intense that I had just a very high internal inflammation due to some of that, which affected my hormones, which affects your cholesterol. So it's time to experience the power of positive thinking. Becoming self-reliant. It's important to understand we all have the power to be responsible for our own health. Traditional doctors are there to help treat your symptoms, but they cannot prevent illness the way you can for yourself. Not even your health coach can do this for you. So like I said, this is when you have to decide, like, I'm so tired of feeling this way that I am ready and I am committing and I will do what it takes. Your health coach wants to help you succeed and will be there for every step of the way, but they cannot do the work for you. Instead, a health coach gives you the tools and help you need to foster an environment for success. So we give you the tools and you truly need to get aware of your environment. Is it allowing you to become the person that you want to become, or is it holding you back? Being self-reliant will increase internal motivation and aid in the adoption of healthy habits. Developing healthy habits and being self-sufficient helps individuals maintain independence later in life as well. Health coaches understand the need for people to feel empowered and can help provide the means for encouraging the very valuable confidence and growth everyone can benefit from. Lifestyle habits. Healthy lifestyle habits can last a lifetime. The better care you provide yourself, the better you can care for others as well. And that's one for women, I think they have a hard time with, because we have been kind of taught to put ourselves on the backside so that we can take care of kids, our husbands, be the best worker for our boss, and those kind of things, that in the end, we put ourselves on the back burner. And what was the result? We burned out, right? And our health declined. But you have to understand that when you take care of yourself, you can serve other people and do your best work while being happy. Health coaches can enable individuals to see the value in reaching their health-related goals, as well as building a meaningful connection between their lifestyle choices to experience a truly fulfilling life. So we can help you see the value of making wiser choices while helping you make those wiser choices. Behaviors such as the foods you eat, the amount of sleep you get each night, and how physically active you are significantly impact your health. Each of these behaviors can either positively or negatively affect your overall health in significant ways. Ultimately, a health coach will enable you to take ownership of your experience and create positive, lasting lifestyle changes. Okay, so what is the chronic disease epidemic? It's everywhere. It's gotten worse. I became a health coach in 2013. It was already pretty bad then. It's only gotten worse in 8 years. So when conventional medicine began, the aim was treating acute infectious diseases, such as tuberculosis, typhoid, and pneumonia. Today, however, chronic disease attributes to 7 of 10 deaths. Acute conditions are sudden and often severe. Examples include anything from broken bone to an asthma attack. Chronic conditions, on the other hand, develop and worsen over an extended period of time. Heart disease tops that list, followed by cancer, chronic lower respiratory disease, stroke, and diabetes. Many contributing factors to chronic diseases are preventable. For example, lifestyle influences such as diet and exercise. Fortunately, health coaches address both of these. Weight loss for a healthier lifestyle. I don't really like to talk about weight loss. I like to think of it as health gain. But obviously, if you're carrying around too much weight for your joints, your bones, and too much internal visceral fat that covers your organs, we're talking kind of pretty dangerous here. And even just carrying too much weight for your bones and your joints, that leaves you wanting to be less active, right? And it's a cyclical thing. So the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, reports that over 1/3 of American adults are obese. Among children and adolescents, 17% have obesity. Obesity-related conditions include heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and certain types of cancer. Some of the leading causes of preventable death. Some studies have shown health coaching to be effective in helping individuals lose and maintain weight, and in turn, lowering disease risk. Many even report increased confidence in weight loss when working with a health coach. Health coaches don't focus exclusively on things like calorie restriction or reduction, or increasing physical activity. I don't talk entirely about this macro, like fats, proteins, and carbs. Sure, we touch on that. Sure, we talk about balancing those in a meal, but I'm not going to be like eat this amount of this carbs and the numbers. That's where a nutritionist a registered dietitian come into hand. Rather, they teach the fundamentals of behavior modifications and aid clients in overcoming the mental barriers that keep them from achieving their weight loss goals. The key to success is attributed to a health coach's ability to effectively encourage clients to make permanent and positive changes in their lives by committing to living a healthier lifestyle today, tomorrow, and for the rest of their lives. Ultimately, they need to experience feeling better. So it's like they need to kind of finally get to a point where they're like, I didn't know I could feel this well. I like how I feel in my skin. My clothes are fitting better. My energy level's up. My skin looks better. I look more alive. And once they get a little taste of that, they're going to always remember that. Now, do people go up and down? Sure. But once you've tasted and experienced it, at least you know, and you can go back to that place in your memory of, I want to feel like that again before it gets too far off, right? You can usually, once you start getting these healthy lifestyle habits, you can usually tell that point where you're like, uh-oh, I'm starting to go tip over to the side of like, I'm not happy with this. And you can usually reel it back in once you have the tools. Otherwise, it's just every once in a while, you can reach out to a health coach again to help you just get back on track, but not need them as much as you may have needed them early on in the process. Heart disease is the leading cause of death for both men and women. The CDC reports about 610,000 people die of heart disease in the United States every year, which accounts for 1 in every 4 deaths. That's a lot. Furthermore, heart disease is the leading cause of death for both men and women. Risk factors for heart disease include high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and smoking. The sad truth is nearly 50% of Americans have at least one of these 3 risk factors. Now, I have high cholesterol, and I can't tell you why. I really, like I said, I need to get it tested. I haven't had it tested since I personally did the Gut Thrive in 5 program. But it also, when your estrogen and progesterone are low, you have that affects your cholesterol. So there's a lot more to it than just the food you eat. Other lifestyle factors also put people at higher risk for heart disease include overweight and obesity, poor diet, physical inactivity, excessive alcohol use, all of which can be improved and managed with the help of a health coach. Studies have shown patients in the coaching program achieve a significantly greater change in total cholesterol, as well as improvements in secondary outcomes such as weight loss, increased exercise, improved quality of life, less anxiety, and improvement in overall health and mood. Now, when I keep going back to cholesterol, understand that like some people do have a genetic predisposition. That's very different than lifestyle related high cholesterol. So yes, a clean eating program, a gut thrive program, a liver detoxifying program, those kind of things can help improve your cholesterol numbers. But ultimately, health coaches come in to show you the way. And they also help you work, like I said, on your mindset to improve your mood and your outlook on life. Lower your risk for certain cancers. Cancer is the #2 cause of death in developed countries and #1 in underdeveloped countries. Scientific experts worldwide agree that at least half of all cancers and cancer-related deaths are preventable, whereas only 5 to 10% of cancer cases have a genetic link. Cleaning up your diet, exercising, and regularly detoxifying are extremely important for achieving optimal health and reducing your risk of cancer. Surprisingly, sleep deprivation has also been linked to having a higher risk of cancer. Sleep deprivation, another reason why you really want to get into a nice bedtime routine. When it comes to cancer, what you eat matters. The most common cancer-causing foods include refined sugar and flour, soda, microwave popcorn, food in cans produced with BPA, grilled or processed meat, and hydrogenated oils. And when you read grilled meat, in general, people eat a lot of that because they think it's lower in fat, right? But the chemicals from the grilling. The food choices you make every day can raise or lower your cancer risk, and a health coach can help you remove known offenders from your diet. Chronic lower respiratory diseases do not need to be your future. The CDC reports chronic lower respiratory disease, also known as chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, as the third leading cause of death in the United States. While exposure to air pollutants in the home and workplace, genetic factors, and respiratory infections play a role, tobacco use is the key factor in the development and progression of chronic respiratory diseases. So this is a big reason why you'll see corporate wellness programs are always looking, as a health coach, like you'll always see in an ad for health coaches, people who have smoking cessation tools in their belt, because as you see here, heart disease, and then cancer, and now this, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease is the third leading causing death. A number of studies have shown positive results with interventions by health coaching as a tobacco cessation program. One study concluded a 32% quit rate among participants who received regular coaching. A health coach can help smokers ready to quit, support smokers through the quitting process, and help smokers stay smoke-free. Stroke recovery. Stroke is the fourth leading cause of death in the United States and the leading cause of serious long-term disability in the United States. Nearly 1/4 of strokes occur in people under the age of 65. Studies report many stroke survivors admit to feeling overwhelmed by the treatments recommended by their healthcare providers. Evidence shows that participation in programs that teach self-management skills and education can improve the quality of life and self-efficacy after stroke, which is where a health coach can help significantly. Health coaching helps to enable individuals to improve and manage their stroke recovery with access to individual-centered and practical support when needed. Stroke prevention can be achieved with the help of a health coach. The primary risk factor for stroke is hypertension or high blood pressure, which can be managed through diet and exercise. There's some herbal things, essential oils and whatnot. A health coach would recommend recipes low in salt as well as the ways to boost your fruit and veggie intake. Other changes a health coach may recommend may include, and this is all for high blood pressure, limiting alcohol intake, regular physical activity, managing stress, maintaining a healthy weight, and smoking cessation. Okay, so diabetes improvement. This has really been on the uprise, even among children. Several studies have shown health coaching to be effective in improving various aspects of type 2 diabetes. More specifically, it has been shown to have a positive effect on patients' knowledge, skill, self-efficacy, and behavior change regarding type 2 diabetes improvement. So health coaches have helped with knowledge, skill, self-efficacy, and behavior change. The CDC reports type 2 diabetes accounts for about 90 to 95% of all diagnosed cases of diabetes in adults, but it is largely preventable. So type 1 diabetes, you usually see diagnosed when younger. Type 2, 90 to 95% is adults. And it is preventable. Significant risk factors include age, excess weight, particularly around the waist, family history, physical inactivity, poor diet. So maintaining a healthy weight and regular physical activity are known to reduce the risk of type 2 diabetes significantly. The Diabetes Prevention Program found that weight loss and increased physical activity reduced the chance of prediabetes turning into type 2 diabetes by 58%. So again, you're talking about weight loss and physical activity, but I think what I like to say even more so is achieving weight loss with foods that lower your toxic load, reduce the internal inflammation, help your body detoxify toxins, and keep your liver running efficiently and your hormones producing efficiently. So it's really choosing the right foods and not just weight loss, because people can achieve weight loss eating processed foods. They really can. At some point in time, they can achieve weight loss, but that does not mean the internal inflammation or the internal flame is decreasing necessarily. So over time, those products that get the body, or those quick fix diet type plans that get you to lose weight, does not necessarily mean internal inflammation is down. And reducing internal inflammation is key. Okay, so those are just some references from where all the information came from. And that's pretty much a wrap. So I know it was long and I know it was lengthy, but I hope you got something out of it. And just understand that health coaches, pretty much, we're just here to guide, educate, listen, and be your cheerleader. And we're here to build the bridge between understanding, well, we're the bridge between you and the doctor, to be quite honest. So understanding you and your needs, and understanding like the diagnosis to a certain extent, but in the middle, providing the solutions to alleviate and to finally gain health back, not just improve symptoms, but to improve you as a whole person. So that's what we health coaches do. So I hope you like the webinar, and visit my website, look through it, read some blogs, join my Healthy Lifestyle Habits page, my close Facebook group, follow me on Instagram, Amy Whole Health. And that's pretty much it for the evening. I hope you enjoyed. All right, guys, have a good rest of your night. I gotta stop. Here we go. So have a good evening. And if you have any questions and you want to reach out to me, if you're interested in a really good gut program, I'm here to answer any of your questions. That webinar is coming up at some point. But yeah, have a good night.